So I was recording this video and my camera cut out, which meant it did not save any of the video that I was doing. So I'm gonna start again, but not really start again. I'm just gonna tell you what I did. So I'm making chocolate zucchini bread. What I did was I grated a cup of zucchini, just from, where is it? Oh, just from a zucchini. I used my grater. And then I put it in a nut milk bag to get the excess water out, and you just squeeze it into the sink or bowl, depending on where you're doing it. I then threw it into a bowl. Let me see if I can readjust this. Okay, I then threw it into a bowl, and I put in a half a cup of sunflower butter, a half a cup of coconut palm sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon apple cider vinegar, and I'm gonna put in my flax egg. So I made the flax egg actually first, and a flax egg is just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 3 tablespoons of water. I put it in the refrigerator because it sets quicker for at least 5 minutes. So dump that in with everything. I mentioned this before, my fingers are clean, so I don't really worry about stuff. Okay. And then, also a half a cup of your alternative to nut milk or alternative to milk. This is gonna be a nut-free recipe, so that's what I was going for. So I used oat. I specifically searched for this so that it could be nut-free as well as plant-based, because I'm primarily plant-based. And I wanted to try out something with zucchini. I don't really like zucchini cooked. I don't mind it when it's raw in things. But to me, zucchini tastes weird cooked. I will link the recipe down below, but you missed all this business. Me putting the vanilla in, me putting the apple cider vinegar in, all of that because my camera cut out. Awesome. Okay, so now I need to whisk this. Do you have utensils in your house that, like, you have 2 of maybe potentially, and you have one that's like your definite favorite, and like your second one is kind of just because you have it? Yeah, that's how this whisk is. Anybody else? Perhaps not. I used my box grater instead of using my food processor for grating because it wasn't a lot that I had to grate, and taking out my food processor and cleaning and doing all of that is just shenanigans that I just didn't feel like doing, so I didn't. Okay. You can also do maple syrup instead of coconut palm sugar, but you can see that in the recipe. I found this unsweetened cocoa powder in my refrigerator. I was going to use cacao instead, but I found this in there. I must have used it for something else, so I need to use this up. What else did I mention? Oh, I mentioned that I keep all of my flours and like this coconut powder, all of my chocolate chips that I use pretty much in the refrigerator because it keeps them from going rancid and disgusting, because I don't necessarily use them enough. This smells delicious currently. Holy Moses. Okay. So you add all that in, and then you're gonna add in your oat flour, your cocoa powder, baking soda, salt, and we're gonna mix it until it's combined. All right. So, have everything mixed in the bowl. I have my 1 cup of oat flour, which I'll mix in. And then we have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You also missed in the other clip, I showed my puppy who was being really noisy, and I think you need to see him in this clip because that was good content. No, it was just cute. Puppy! Little good boy, come here. Say hello to everybody. Say hello to my friends. Hello, friends. This is Walter. He's a mini golden doodle. Okay. All right. So, thank you for saying hi. You can go back to playing with your bone. And then you also need to do, let me drop you down. Okay. Also need the salt and a half cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, which is right here. So, sweetened cocoa powder. Whoop. Oh, cocoa powder is always very dusty. Cacao, cocoa powder, all that stuff. This, I probably would have really liked to use my mixer because, oh man, this is a lot harder to mix than I wanted it to be. I'm sure that it only needed to do a half cup of oat flour? I mean oat, that's what it says on this thing. Of oat. I guess so. I'm just gonna put in a little bit more. I'm gonna put in a little bit more. I'm making the executive decision. We're putting in a little bit more of oat milk because I probably should have used my mixer. Oh my gosh. But I guess this is supposed to be chocolate zucchini bread, so you gotta, it's kind of like brownie consistency. That's the other thing. I probably should have moved to a spatula at some point in time instead of a whisk, but that was how I was going to get everything incorporated. So that's what we got right now. Okay, so I think everything is pretty much incorporated. My salt, my baking soda, all that stuff. And then you have to grease or line 8 1/4 inch baking pan with parchment paper, or you can spray it with cooking oil if you do that type of thing. I don't typically, if I do put anything in there, it's coconut oil. I'm not a big fan of the smell of coconut. That's what it looks like. But I do understand that it has some good properties. I don't know. The jury's out on coconut oil, in my opinion. There's so much controversy, which everything has controversy, so what am I talking about? I'm gonna try with chocolate chips. Also, we need to add in a 1/3 cup of chocolate chips. There is like a vegan chocolate cream cheese frosting that's supposed to go with this, but I don't want to do it because I'm not. The vegan cream cheese that I like is nut-based, for one. So I wanted to make this nut-free, so that wouldn't work. And then I just wasn't feeling it. I might just do some, like a little glaze that I make with cacao and honestly maple syrup and water for the top of it. And that might be what I do instead of like a fluffy cream cheese thing. So I'm gonna put it in a pan and we're gonna put it in the oven and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't necessarily use bread pans all the time. Sometimes it takes a whole hell of a lot longer for it to cook. I like using more shallowy type dishes. So I'm gonna stick it in there, in here instead. You can also make these into like cupcakes if you wanted to do that, which would probably be a whole heck of a lot quicker, which I might do for my office thing that I could be potentially making this for. I'm just gonna scoop into my dish and spread it out. And then it gets stuck in the oven at 350 for, I think it's like 40 minutes. Hold on. My notes are on my computer, and my computer is currently frozen. Does anyone ever have that issue? I've been having lots of internet problems recently. Anyone else? I think it's a thing happening in the world. All right, correction. For an 8 by 4 inch baking pan, it's 50 to 60 minutes. I'm still figuring out my oven controls. So I'm going to do 40 and then do the toothpick test and then add minutes there. Yeah, because my oven is a lot different, and so is my stovetop than the oven that I previously had where we used to live. So, okay. Well, it's in the oven, and once it is out, I will show you what it looks like. I believe I got chocolate on my face, which is lovely. I think I might like this spatula. It doesn't really taste chocolatey. Like, this may look like brownie mix. It doesn't taste like brownie mix. But once the chocolate chips get incorporated and all of that, it should be very chocolatey. It's not bad though. Not bad at all. So I'm gonna clean up all this mess because I made one. Is there anything else that I mentioned in the clips that were deleted? Oh, with your sunflower butter, when you open that up, make sure you mix it because the oils rise to the top, which most people should know if you're doing anything with like nut butters or seed butters or whatever the heck that is. I think I mentioned that I pretty much refrigerate most of my stuff and probably use the rest of the zucchini for another recipe. Or I can use it if I make this recipe for the thing on Tuesday that I am making stuff for. I think I'm just actually hungry, so maybe I should go eat food. Or drink some water. And have a chocolate in my teeth. Okay, I'll be back once I'm done. So while I was waiting for the zucchini bread to finish, I decided I was going to make slime since everybody under the sun is making it, and it's really easy. And I filmed it live on my Instagram, which is October6creations.com. No, that's not it. That's my website, which you should also visit, but it's just October6creations on Instagram. And this is real simple, and it's freaking fun to play with. Okay, so the zucchini bread is done. I was about to grab the hot zucchini bread with my hands, which would not have been a good idea. And this is what it looks like. So I assume I need to let it cool, but I'm not very good at that type of stuff. And I said that I was doing it for 40 minutes, and 40 minutes totally worked for me, especially for this different type of dish that I decided to use. Tastes like chocolate. I can taste the zucchini. Not too much. I taste more of the sunflower butter than I do anything else. Alright, so I need to make the glaze that I was talking about that I'm going to put on top of it. And it can go on top, I think it can go on top of this when it's hot, because oh, I need to turn off my oven because I left it on just in case. If it cools together, then it should harden together, hopefully. Put my water up there. Okay. Okay, so whenever I'm making like a chocolate sauce, my baking soda left over here for making slime. I just use cacao. So I usually do like heaping teaspoons, or tablespoons, sorry. Like 2 heaping tablespoons of cacao, and then I'll add in a tablespoon, a good healthy tablespoon of maple syrup, and then probably a tablespoon of water to mix that up. And I again will use one of those little whiskey doodads that I have, and just mix it up. A lot of times when I'm making this, I add in peanut butter just because I like chocolate and peanut butter, and I'm usually making this to go on top of, actually, you know what, I'm adding some sunflower butter. That's what I'm gonna do, because that goes with the theme. Because I'm usually eating it with like apples or something. Just a skosh. And I like chocolate peanut butter and peanut butter on apples. I try not to eat too much peanut butter because it's not that great for you, but I do like it. Probably more than I should. Okay, we'll add in just a skosh more maple syrup and a skosh more water to make this a little bit more runny. It takes a few minutes just to get everything to come together. Kind of just play with it, test it out. It's chocolatey, and you can taste the hint of sunflower butter behind it. That's why I always do this, because you always taste the hint of peanut butter behind it. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is, see that? Go back here. I'll get a little closer. Should I go a little closer? Should I go a little closer? Let's see. Let's see what I can do here. Whoop. Does that work? A little bit. Pull it out a little. Oh, look at that. That's still hot. Okay. And then what I think I'm going to do is just like dribble it on top. Glaze it up. And again, this is literally cacao and water and maple syrup. And I kind of just mix it all up and hope for the best. I guess I should use a spatula. I have these little spatula thingies. So I'm just gonna swishy that around to be on top of the zucchini bread. And since the zucchini bread's still hot, it actually helps move a lot of this. I didn't know how much I was going to need, but this might be the perfect amount. It's not gonna be really thick, it's just gonna be like a thin kind of layer of chocolate over top. And we're gonna let that, it'll probably also seep into the cake. That's what I'm thinking too. So we're gonna let that sit and everything cool, and we'll come back and see how it goes. So I just ate a piece and it's delicious. It's not too chocolatey, which is actually perfect. I think the glaze that I did instead of using the other recipe was probably the best decision, because I know it's something that I like. Look at this. Doesn't it look delicious? I pulled some out, cut it up a little bit. I didn't wait until it completely was cooled, but I kind of like it like that. It was super moist. Real delicious, real delicious. I think I can lift the container. It was really easy to get out using the coconut oil as the spray on the side. I don't use an oil spray, I just use actual coconut oil and swish it around. Yeah. So I will make sure to put a link down below. And then I will also, I think I'll just make a blog post with the chocolate sauce thing that I do instead of the chocolate cream cheese, vegan cream cheese or whatever that came with this recipe. But this is delicious. Now someone needs to come over and eat all of this. My husband's actually away. He's not even a huge chocolate fan. So all of my friends who may or may not be watching this and live near me to have chocolate in my teeth, can you come over? Please. Okay. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Bye.